All right, another update. Been a couple weeks, I think, since we did the floor update. But a couple things have happened the past few weeks. I got this patio poured. I did this on Monday. It's Friday today, but worked out real good. They got that drain in there just how I wanted it. That box drain there. I think I had talked about in another video, what my game plan was. I'm working on digging all this out, and I'm gonna put that pipe down in there. That's a piece of 3-inch electrical conduit. I drilled a bunch of holes in kind of strategically. I'm gonna pour a little bit of concrete down in that trough, give it something kind of firm to sit on and kind of seal some of that water from going back up underneath there. Of course, that'll run into that box. And then do the same thing this direction. I'm gonna use a piece of 4-inch like gutter drain basically, and tie into that footer drain on the back side of this wall with it. I don't have to worry about the strength of it on this side because nothing's gonna be driving over it, but on that side I wanted something pretty stout. I think that plastic will hold up. It's pretty strong, and it's only 3-inch. And I try to be reasonable with the amount of holes and the size of them, but hopefully it can handle trucks and stuff driving over it without too much trouble. I'm trying to design it so that it's easily replaceable too. Like, I'm not going to glue it into that box. You just have to dig away some rock in there and pull it out and set a new one in there if it ever crack or clog up over the years. So anyway, they came back, was the Friday, they came back Wednesday and cut the concrete and got all their tools and left. So they're 100% done, and it's a good feeling. Just not have to worry about their schedule, my schedule, what's going on at work. Am I going to be here for certain things and certain days? And it's just kind of a relief to get them out of here. Not that they weren't good to work with, but anyway, I'm just glad to get past that, and now I can just focus on the stuff I need to do, which is there's plenty of it. So anyway, like I said, the patio turned out good. The only problem is, which we knew this going into it, that the old patio, it wasn't going to match. Of course, this patio is pretty dirty. It needs cleaned, and this is brand new concrete. I think once it gets a little dirty, they'll blend in a lot better. Now if I keep this pressure wash, it'll probably be more noticeable. But what are you going to do? My other option was to bust all that patio out over there and redo it, but you're probably talking about another $20,000 by the time you tear all that out of there and re-pour it and build a new retaining wall. And you got to draw the line somewhere, so that's just part of it. I knew that from a long time ago that was gonna be a problem. But got the garage doors in last week before, losing track of time. That worked out real good. This one's powered. I'll show you the other one here in a second. And works great. I still got to do all my trim work around there and put my seal or my weather stripping around and all that, but at least it's in there. Kind of closes the place up. My dad and I put these doors in there again a couple weeks ago. I came out here yesterday and put these knobs on and these locks. I've got 2 of these locks on my house, and they're definitely worth the money. They're only like $40, but it beats having to carry a key around with you all the time. I don't even carry a key to my house with me ever, because all my main doors I come in and out of just have these electric deadbolts on them. And it's so handy because half the time you're out doing something, you run over to the garage, I don't have my key on me. I just would never think about not having them at this point. But it's like, it's coming off there. The other 2 I've had for about a year or so, and they've been just worked perfectly fine. They're like cheapos basically, but they seem to get the job done. And I don't know, we'll see how long they last, but at $40 you can't beat them. Like I said, the door worked out pretty good. I like the way it shuts, and with these automatic openers or electric ones, you got to get it just right, because it didn't have the power to muscle through right here. What I try to do is I get the knob itself is what holds the door in place, and this just smoothly, it doesn't rub against anything. A lot of deadbolts you got to push on the door a little bit to get it to shut. That would never work with these because they don't have much power. So anyway, I got that exactly how I want it. Not too tight to where you got to really shove it closed, but not so loose that air is getting around it. So I'm real happy with how that turned out. Here's the doors. Like I said, this one's powered. It's a 9 foot tall by 12 wide. I kind of wish I would have went 10 tall with it now, but I think I might have mentioned this before. Whenever they were going to do it originally, it was going to have 11 foot ceilings. Now that it's got 12, it wouldn't hurt to have another foot of door in there. But that wasn't the original plan, and you had to order the doors so far ahead of time that you couldn't just, send me a 10 foot door now. There were a 3-month wait on them. So something else I've been working on is getting scaffolding here. End up ordering it online from a company out of North Carolina, and they shipped it. I got up here last week, had to go pick it up at my dad's shop because it comes in on a semi. It's not something FedEx can just deliver. But I ended up getting 23 feet total. So these yellow ones are 5 feet tall, and the red are 3. The yellow ones, I've got 4 bucks of them, and 1 3-foot buck here. And inside the garage here, really all I need is the 2, and I've got this one set up already. It gets me plenty high to do what I'm gonna do on the ceiling and all the work around the tops and drywall and everything. But it's the outside that I need it way higher, like on that back side. For the siding next fall is when I'm thinking I'm gonna do it. So I just went ahead and got everything I need, and I have more than enough for everything going on. When I get done, I may try to sell it. I'm not sure yet, but there's a rental place around here I was originally just gonna rent it from. They're going out of business. And then the next place, that's not really a scaffolding company, it's like Sunbelt Rentals. Their price was just through the roof. It was going to be like $5,000 to keep it all year long, something like that. And it's just, I'd much rather have my own and keep it as long as I need to and sell it when I'm done, or keep it or whatever. But here's the 8-foot door. This one worked out real good too. I didn't get it powered. I was planning on putting my own power motor on it down the road at some point, but honestly I'm thinking that I may not even put an opener on it because they just work so nice. You just open this, one finger, you just push it up. Now maybe that spring goes bad over time and it's way harder to pick up, but I doubt it. It'll probably be just fine. And it's so simple and easy. I'm never going to be approaching it from the outside where I want to have an opener on my truck or something to open it as I'm coming in. You're almost always gonna be opening it from the inside anyway. So definitely low priority to put an opener on it one day down the road, but we'll see. Got this door done, same thing on it. Not sure if there's anything new out here or not, but I'm kind of dreading this siding job on the back here. It's gonna be real tall and a mud pit back here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet. I may end up putting a bunch of wood down through there and trying to use that scaffolding somehow. Take the wheels off of it maybe, set it on the plywood, I don't know. But I got some tables set up, some sawhorses, just kind of making our way towards starting a wiring job on it. I got my breaker box there. Trying to think anything else update wise. So the floor looks real good. Now it's kind of getting dirty. You barely even notice the transitions. I got lucky on the scaffolding because it barely misses these beams, which is handy. That way when you're moving back between them, you don't have to take the scaffolding down every time. That'd be a huge pain. So I got lucky on that. Of course, I could have modified this. I could have cut a little bit off the bottoms or drilled new holes in them, something like that, but I really didn't want to have to mess with that. I'm sure it's designed a certain way and it'd probably hold up, but I'd just rather not, especially if I'm gonna try to resell it. I don't want to be modifying it. Anyways, happy about that. But one thing I started getting into here, I guess I can go ahead and talk about it a little bit, is the ceiling, how I'm gonna do that. And one thing that hit me a week ago was, I don't know what these trusses are rated for, or I didn't at the time. And I started Googling it a little bit about it, and a lot of people were saying, you can't put a ceiling on 4-foot centers. It won't hold it, which I knew that it was gonna be a problem spanning it with drywall and stuff, but I had never thought about the weight. And they were saying that most houses have, garages too, have 2-foot centers. And these are more like for a pole barn that don't have a ceiling in them. So I go, oh man, I didn't even think about that. I should have specified that, which I told the builder that I was willing to put a ceiling in it, but I also should have made sure that he got rafters, or these are trusses really, that can handle a ceiling. And so I started looking into the real lightweight options, how I could design this real light in case it doesn't have any rating for it. And even then, it's a little sketchy. I mean, you're still putting weight on it, but I was thinking surely they could hold up a little bit. And so in the meantime, I had the builder get the specs on it for me, and he sent it to me yesterday, and it came back 5 pounds per square foot is what the ceiling's rated for, which is plenty for what a normal ceiling is. I mean, with my design, I'm looking at as little as 1.5 pounds per square foot, which I think what I'm gonna do, and this could change, but is run 2x2 furring strips this direction on 2-foot centers this way, and then use 1/4-inch OSB up against that, and then set my R19 insulation up on top of that. It ends up being a pretty lightweight, pretty cheap, and fairly easy to install option. You know, other options are like metal roof material, a little harder to work with, and it's more costly, but it's a little bit lighter. You can do drywall, that's a lot heavier, not much big advantage there, about the same price. I don't remember some other options I was looking at on it, but I think that's what I'm gonna go with. But like I said, we'll see. I've got another month or two to think about it. I really can't do that until I get much of the wiring done. But so anyway, I'm relieved that it's rated for something, and something I should have looked into way ahead of time. Didn't even think about it, and just make sure that the builder was designing it so that it could handle what I'm trying to do with it. But again, luckily they knew what they were doing, and yeah, had it rated appropriately. You know, one thing I learned about these trusses is you can't just look at them and tell how strong they are, and you can't base it off the spacing either. There's way more to it than just like these are made out of 2x4s. You get 2x6s, and the type of webbing they have in between them, and the links and the spacing and all that. It all comes together to be rated for what it's rated. And without the engineering drawings and specs on them, there's no way to know. Because when I looked at these, I thought, these look kind of dinky, honestly. They're 2x4 construction. They're on 4-foot centers. Yeah, they'll probably hold up the roof. Maybe they're not made for a heavy ceiling in there. And you know, like I said, like the reading I did just said, you can't look at them and tell. You just got to get those drawings. And sure enough, that was the case. I think the wood is really good rating on it in terms of it's been tested and everything. That's why they can get away with smaller 2x4 type construction. But anyway, yeah, so I learned a lot about trusses in the past week or two, just kind of Googling and reading and whatnot about how they're designed and all that. So anyway, kind of lucked out on that one. Something I would have done that way ahead of time. A year ago, I would have made sure that was in the specs that the trusses were designed for that. But anyway, that's probably it for now. I'll do another update if something else happens.